Let us continue with our lesson. So let us pass the argument. So we need to pass the self args over here, and let us pass. So I will pass the ID. So it should be of a, let's say, tax ID we need to pass, and let's pass it as a string, and okay, and we need to pass similarly a task title title. Okay, so it should be of a string, and we need to pass the task, sorry, task body we need to pass, and that should be of a string too, and we need a title, body, and the status. So I will pass the task sts status, and that should be of a string too. So we have added the arguments over here that we need to pass. And for now, what I will do is I'll just close this navigation base, and let's close this detail too, and let's close this one too. So from where we will be navigating is from our tax detail. So tax detail fragment. Let me open that one, and we have a button. So what I will do is over here in the on activity created, let me have a, that should be button name. So let me check what is the button name actually. So if you go to the edit or tax detail fragment, and the ID for this one is the, so let's give ID. So fp as a floating button, or a floating action button underscore, we say edit, and we go to the tax detail over here, and I say fp underscore edit dot set on click listener. So let me add on click listener for this one, and what we need to do is we need to add the on click listener. So that should be of a find nav controller dot navigate, sorry, it should be of a navigate, and navigate direction to be, the direction is from tax, what was that, tax detail, okay, fragment. Okay, so we still don't have. So what I will do is I will just go and rebuild over here. So let me rebuild the application. So we have a build error, I think mismatch unit type, that should be of 46. Okay, so I think it's a big mistake over here. So it should be set on click listener, not the long listener. So I made a mistake, sorry for that. It should be set on click listener, not the long click listener. So you just rectify it, and after that I think we should be able to find that one. So it should be tax detail fragment direction. Yeah, so we can find it, tax detail, and dot, we can find the action tax detail fragment to edit. So that one we have to go to edit tax fragment, and we need to pass the argument of tax ID. So I think we don't have the tax ID. I think here we don't have tax ID. So let me go to the let's go to the tax detail, and let's create the ID val, and I will say ID. This will be of a mutable data type of a string, and that's equals to mutable live data. And now we have an ID over here, and now we can observe that one. So for that, let me observe in the top over here. I will say view, so view model dot ID, right? So ID dot observe, and it should be of a view lifecycle owner. So view lifecycle owner dot observer is observe. Let's create the observer over here. Okay, and What I will do is over here we don't do anything for now. Here we need to pass. So from where we are passing is from the home fragment. So if you go to the home fragment, we are passing the data from here. So I can pass that one too. So what I need to do is I need to add one more from here when I will passing the data to the tax detail. So we need to get one more, that is a ID of the particular tax that we need to edit. So I will just add a new one. I will just say as a ID, and it should be of a string, right? Let's click on OK. So we have ID. So body, date and time, and ID. So if you go over here, and we should have an error somewhere. Here is from the home fragment. Yeah. So we need to pass one more value over here, and that should be of a, sorry, it should be somewhere here. We have passed the created date, and let's pass the ID. I think we should pass in the top somewhere over here. So data, and let's check the for the null reference dot ID dot to string, and yeah, that should be fine. Okay, so what we have error over here is the date and time title. So if you check date and time, title, body, status, user ID, color. Okay, so why I'm not getting that one? We still have missing our ID. So if you see over here date and time and title, we have body, we have status, user ID, status, color, and I'm still not getting the, sorry, I'm still not getting the navigation base over here and the ID over here. So what I will do is let me try to rebuild it, and let me remove the error first. So I need to remove the error, then only I can rebuild it. And okay, so let me try to just rebuild it. So we have some error over here, that's the parameter we're not passing. And let's go to home fragment, and yeah, it should be fine now. So we have all of the requirements. So we can see date and time, title. So we have to pass date and time, title, body, and after body we have to pass the status, user ID, then the bg color and the ID. So ID we need to pass at the end. So make sure you check that one. So I will have to pass this one to the end, otherwise I will maybe mix up. So okay, so we have passed it over here from the home fragment, and from whenever we are passing from the home fragment, that is receiving in our tax detail fragment over here. So now over here I can just pass it to the view model. So view model dot, I can say id dot value is equals to args dot id. So we are passing to over here. So now we can pass that value to our edit. So first of all, what we need to pass is the view model. So let's go and check the sequence that we have to pass. I think we need to pass first is the ID, right? So it should be ID that we first created. I can just pass directly the view model dot ID here. So view model dot ID dot value, and the second parameter that you have to pass is the title. So it should be of a view model dot title, right? So view model dot title dot value, and dot to string, comma, and another body. So it should be of a view, sorry, view model dot it should be of our body, so we have to pass body comma dot to string, sorry, dot to string, and we need to pass finally the status, so it should be view model, sorry, VIE. So why I'm not getting that one? So view model dot should be of a status, we need to pass comma, sorry, dot to string, sorry, dot value. I get confused over here. Yeah. A status dot value dot to string. So that should be fine, and I just need to check it to string over here. So we have passed the data over here, that the argument that we have to pass whenever we click the edit button. So let's meet up in the next lecture and we'll continue with it. Till then, have a great day.